Have you ever wanted to be a wizard? I'm talking all-powerful archmage, throwing meteors from the sky, bringing the dead back to life, making castles fly type of wizard. Not some high school kid waving a wand around, but the kind of wizard who makes a sword shoot lightning, who can forge pacts with demons, who can brew a potion so strong that even the greatest travelers can't take them into battle. Well, then I got great news, because SpellForce Conquest of Eo is the ultimate wizard power fantasy game, and in celebration of its third major DLC and over 2 years of updates, I'm here to tell you all about it. Hi, I'm AgentNumberOne, a content creator on Twitch and YouTube, and I play way too many strategy games. Conquest of Eo has always been one of my absolute favorite titles because nothing quite captures that feeling of becoming an unstoppable force of magic. I've been asked to show you some of the game's changes over the past 2 years. Plus, they just recently launched a new DLC, and later in the video, I'll give you a little peek at what it has to offer. So, what is the game? At its technical heart, Conquest of Eo is a tactical, turn-based 4X strategy game. You play a wizard, commanding your armies and apprentices to explore the map, completing quests, gathering resources, learning spells, and doing battle with the various forces within it. Eventually, you tap into a magical power known as the Allfire, which will lead you towards massive magic battles against other famous SpellForce mages. But you don't start there. Like any good power fantasy, first there's a rise to power. Imagine, if you would, that you are but a humble wizard's apprentice. You've managed to learn a couple basic spells, maybe enthrall a few weak-minded goblins to serve you, and while your mentor has said, you show promise, you haven't really had the chance to prove it. So you pack your bag, sling them over your shoulder, and journey off into the wide world of Eo to learn more about it. After some time abroad, you receive a letter with your master's seal. In it, he tells you of a great new discovery he wants to share with you, and to hurry back because he fears others covet his research. With great haste, you rush back to the tower to find out what they have learned, only to find your home in pieces, the library ransacked, and your mentor slain. Upon discovering his final notes to you, you're left to pick up the pieces and set off into a wide open world. This is where the game starts off. So when beginning a new game, the first question you have to ask yourself is, if I was a wizard, what kind of wizard would I be? After thinking about this for far too long, then completing a BuzzFeed quiz to determine what type of Disney wizard you would be, how do I keep getting Pumbaa? You can choose between one of 5 starting archetypes. Base game lets you pick the Alchemist, Necromancer, or Artificer, while the Demonologist and Astromancer are new DLC options that we'll talk more about later. This starting choice determines what kind of magical items you can craft in the game, but it's only one part of being a wizard. After choosing your archetype, you get to pick 2 spellbooks out of a possible 8 schools of magic, which decide what you specialize in at the start of the game. As you travel across the land, explore ancient ruins, and do battle with other wizards, you can expand your books and learn a ton of different spells from all the different magical schools. Speaking of other wizards, the next step is to pick which circle mage you want to exist in the world. Unique rivals or friends that can help or hinder your progress. You can choose which ones you want, or you can set it to all random and receive 3 different mages, and 1 mage who will inevitably show up across all your campaigns to haunt your dreams and be a continual thorn in your side. Now it's time to customize the difficulty to your preferred playstyle, or crank it up all the way and earn your wizard stripes the hard way. Since the game's launch, there's been a ton of new content added, and you can leave it all on or mix and match in order to tell the story that you want to see. The main game follows a loose plot that exists within the world of Eo, but every run is different. Your choice of crafting and spells will determine the type of creatures that you can use and the strengths and weaknesses that your army possesses. Plus, the circle mages you fight as your rivals will change with each campaign as well. On top of that, the events and resources scattered across the world have a level of random generation that keeps each run feeling fresh despite the core story. With the recent Origins update in December, you can now also choose to start custom playthroughs that focus on the various factions within Eo. Do you dream of leading an orc tribe into battle with a throng of beasts at your command? How about defending the mountain home of the dwarves while you shape the very earth around your feet? Maybe you would rather venture into the ancient ruins of the Shapers to learn their secrets and create a legion of unstoppable constructs. These new stories have injected even more life into the game and give you new ways to play in order to make the world your own. So okay, you might be thinking, I'm a big nerd. I've played a lot of fantasy games. What makes this one so different? Why do I want to play this one over the other ones? Well, there are 3 main reasons that I think this game hits differently than the rest of the genre. First is the combat. Every fight can be fought on a tactical map with a max of 10 troops on each side. There's a wide variety of different spells, items, monsters, abilities that can all be used in each battle. But each battle that you have to fight feels fast and tactically satisfying. It's got just enough going on to form a good strategic layer while not getting bogged down with hundreds of troops on each side or countless combat modifiers. The mixture is blended to perfection, making every fight feel like a challenge instead of a chore. Second reason is the world map and the Wizard's Tower. Unlike a traditional strategy game where you have a bunch of cities and you constantly grow outwards, in Conquest of Eo, you drain the land of its resources, and then you literally pick up your tower with magic and fly it somewhere else. This never stops feeling satisfying. It forces you to always be on the move, blending offensive positioning to keep your research funded while having to defend against hostile forces who seek to topple your tower. I can't think of another game that creates this demand for exploration by forcing you to move your base time and time again in order to meet your growing needs. Third is the crafting system, which we're gonna talk about more in detail. While you do get to choose your preferred school of magic in-game, the type of wizard you are is still heavily influenced by your choice of crafting archetype. Playing through the game with one choice feels dramatically different than the next. Furthermore, the type of spells you take alongside your profession create even deeper synergies and playstyles that'll change both the combat strategies you can employ and how you solve quests and events on the world map. This gives every encounter a fulfilling level of complexity that keeps you wanting to come back and explore each variation. So, let's talk a little bit about them. First up, we have the Necromancer. He's a fan favorite because who doesn't want to be immortal and look the cold, haunting phantom of time directly in the face until it's not today. As a necromancer, your trade is in souls, and you get them from, you guessed it, ripping it from the still warm bodies of your slain enemies. You'll mix souls together with other regions found throughout the world to create a never-ending legion of undead that'll proceed to take on stronger and tougher creatures in order to collect even more powerful souls that will create even more powerful undead. The power fantasy of the Necromancer is all about having vast legions under your control. Your armies will be larger than normal, you'll have more armies in general, and as one skeleton dies, undies, lives, is freed, it's easily replaced with another. Drown the world in a tide of undead, and victory will certainly be yours. Next is the Artificer, and arguably one of the reasons the game has the dwarf tag on Steam. Artificers are all about crafting extremely powerful equipment and upgrades for your units, and fit into that runesmith vibe perfectly. Where the Necro excels at having a never-ending army, the Artificer's strength is in quality over quantity. Even your lowliest goblin can become a legendary warrior under the smith's watchful eye. And believe me, you're going to get attached to each unit in your army as you watch them cut down swaths of enemies in your name. If you like creating really busted min-max combos and turning your goblins into godlins, then the Artificer is an excellent choice for you. Last, but certainly not least, we have the Alchemist, which a lot of people think is the weakest class. We have a word for those people. Wrong. Unlike the other classes which focus on your armies, the Alchemist is all about your inventory and the goodie bag of surprises within it. With a huge assortment of potions and items you can craft, a well-skilled alchemist can deal with literally any threat it faces. As the old saying goes, the alchemist who fails to prepare, prepares to fail. Wandering into undead lands? Well, make sure you have some holy water on hand. Heading into the frozen north? Some fire elementals in a bottle should keep you warm. Like all of us, I once suffered from potion collection syndrome, afraid to use a single potion for fear that one day I might need it against the final boss. Now, after playing as an alchemist, I drink potions with reckless abandon. I'm throwing Molotov cocktails at enemies who aren't even grouped up. I am living life to the fullest, and you can too. Which brings us to our fourth archetype, the Demonologist. Released as the first DLC, Demon Scourge, the Demonologist is all about, well, you guessed it, demons. Unlike the Necro, who forges new life from souls, the Demonologist instead binds the souls of powerful demons into the bodies of already living creatures. You'll collect different cults to command during your playthrough that'll give you access to new demons, and as your units complete tasks related to their packs, the demons bound to them will grow stronger. Eventually, you can even use their bodies as a conduit and rip those demons into the world and straight through their once fleshy prisons. But perhaps forcing your poor witless goblins into an infernal pact for their soul isn't enough for you. Maybe you're the kind of wizard who wants to sell their own soul for terrible abyssal power. The Demon Scourge DLC also adds a new aspect to the map with optional demonic invasions, demon lords who seek to corrupt the land and harvest its souls. Demon lords that you can choose to befriend in a deal that definitely won't ever backfire on you. After all, making friends with a powerful demon would certainly give you a leg up on those other pesky circle mages. Or, if you're feeling benevolent, perhaps they would be grateful if you used your newfound powers to rid the land of its demonic influence. After all, why fight the other mages when you have a common enemy instead? Not interested in our spiky soul-sucking friends? Well, with this update, they also added an entire troll faction to the game, complete with an additional city, storyline, quests, and hero. Help the trolls build up a new home for themselves and maybe accidentally become their god in the process. These chunky, hard-hitting lands are definitely misunderstood in the world of Eo, but under the protection of the right wizard, they could become a powerful tool to harness. Pick up the new hero Morgak along with them, and you'll create an unstoppable force that can down the other circle mages' towers with ease. The newest DLC, Children of Nor, brings even more content into the game with the 5th and final archetype, Astromancy. Your wizard will focus on crafting the shiniest gemstones imaginable as you keep your eyes to the sky in search of stars and constellations that provide massive buffs to entire races at a time. Your troops will scour the map in order to find the best spots to see the shifting skyline, and then match your gems against the constellations in order to bring celestial powers down to Earth to empower you and your apprentices. Fallen stars will crash to Eo, leaving unique stardust in their wake, which you can chase down and infuse into your gems for even greater effects. If you prefer to play with a single faction of units instead of a mix of troops, the bonuses gained from Astromancy can provide incredible benefits that are hard to match anywhere else. And speaking of factions, Children of Nor also adds in the Dark Elves and their floating city of Shaladir, a new location filled with new quests, new stories, and new Dark Elf units that focus around poison and death damage. Leading them from the shadows is the new Circle Mage, Zahar the Snake, who will stalk your troops across Eo and emerge from the shadows to strike when they are at their weakest. The shadows themselves will also feel longer and darker, since this update adds in a new moon phase mechanics which affect every unit each week. Units gain new upgrades that can empower them in different ways depending on the lunar phases, and don't be too surprised when you run into some furry friends under the light of a full moon. The Lycanthrope transformation can be found on a lot of different units, and has the potential to dramatically alter the power of an army if the conditions are right and the stars align. When those stars are out, personally, I like to lean back, take a nap, and fall into a wistful slumber. When I first played Conquest of Eo, I thought to myself the only way this game could be better is if the map itself could truly be randomized. Really throw some chaos into the mix and have every playthrough be a totally different experience. I heard it echoed through friends and other creators, but we all figured it would be too huge a technological hurdle for any dev team to pull off something like that. It would be something we could have only wished for in our wildest dreams. Which is exactly why we never anticipated the Weaver's Realm DLC. If you are coming back to SpellForce for the first time since launch, this update was an absolute game changer and shook up the entire core of the game. I'm talking new maps, new campaign types, fully randomized world, and they even put in an entirely new school of magic just to show off. Because if they're gonna make dreams come true, they might as well invent dream weaving magic at the same time. With this DLC, you can play through the main story all over again, but with a different world built the way you want. Leave in the level scaling so you progress naturally, or throw it all out the window and accidentally start pincered in by demons on all sides. But maybe you don't have the time to play a full campaign. Well, not a worry, because now there's mini campaigns as well. You can fight off a single circle mage in a 1v1 with the might and magic scenario, or how about you explore a smaller world as you prepare for a massive invasion after a set amount of turns. Or take to your tower and simply enjoy all the stories SpellForce has to offer in a cozier, less stressful format. It is hard to describe how great a job the devs did with Weaver's Realm and how much life it breathes into the game. So if you've been wanting a reason to come back and revisit, rest assured this update lets you come back time and time again without getting bored. While I'm patting them on the back as well, I should just mention how fast and smooth this game runs. Compared to a lot of modern strategy games that takes ages between loading screens, Conquest of Eo is lightning fast. It looks great, and seriously, can I talk about how cheap it is? The base game is only $30 of my maple-flavored Canadian Monopoly money. The DLC's all under $15. In a world of $100 AAA titles, the value for this game is beyond belief. If that isn't enough to wet your whistle and you still aren't satisfied, then can I interest you with some mod support? Because you better believe they got that as well. If you want to add unlimited level caps or additional skill points, you can pop on over to the mod pages and tweak the game to your little heart's content. As of right now, the modding is limited to basic support though, so apologies for those of you looking for sexy anime waifu mods. You're just gonna have to keep your fingers crossed for some more elf updates. With 2 years under its belt, 3 DLCs, and 9 major updates, you can check out the new bundle they've added to Steam. Grab it all at once or complete your collection at an excellent discount. And as a little thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video, I'll let you in on a little secret. There's going to be a big summer sale on all the content coming soon, so check the comments for more info. After all, there's never been a better time to hop back into the game and discover all the great new content they've added to SpellForce: Conquest of Eo.